What's up, plant family? Devin is here, and in this video we're going to be talking about sowing seeds outdoors. This could be a blend of wildflowers. This could be a mix of woodland garden native plants. It could be one specific type of plant. In this video, we're going to be going through all the requirements that we need to meet in order to correctly sow those seeds so that we can enjoy these plants as quickly as possible. So the first thing that we need to consider is the correct time of year. Now, I'm here in Zone 6B in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and of course that means that we have a winter season here. For those of us with winter seasons, the best time to sow outdoors would be at the end of fall or in the early winter. If you live in a place that doesn't have winters, like Southern California, the best time to do so would be at the start of your rainier season, which is typically for those regions also going to be kind of the same time frame. Now, if we're going to be planting a blend of different seeds have different stratification requirements before they can germinate. So by doing this at the end of fall or early winter, that blend will generally be able to fulfill all the requirements of each and every one of those seeds, whether that's a period of 30 or 60 days of cold weather, a warm, moist combination. Typically, the best time to do so is at the end of fall, early winter. I'm here on, December 8th, and I'm going to be planting my seeds out here in the next few days. Now, that being said, if you are doing a mix of wildflowers that are annuals, you can absolutely do so in the springtime, as those typically don't require a period of cold weather in order to stratify and then germinate. All right, so now that we know the best time of year to do so, we need to choose the correct site. If you're going for wildflowers typically need a good amount of sunlight, so an area in your yard with 6-8 hours of sunlight is going to be perfect. I'm actually going to be planting a blend of different woodland garden plants, so of course a shadier woodland area is going to be perfect for those. All right, so now that you've chosen your site, the next thing that we need to do is going to be the hardest part of the bunch, and that would be preparing the site for the seeds. If the site that you're going to be planting your seeds is ridden with weeds, has a lot of growth that might compete for energy, for soil space, that's going to be the number one reason why your seeds might not do well. So we really need to ensure that our area is clean and free and clear of any weeds that might be providing competition. So this could even take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of preparation before your site is actually ready to be planted on. This is something that a lot of gardeners do not think about before they're planting their seeds. I've been preparing this area for the last 2 years, getting ready for it, and it has been a long, slow process, but it's finally ready. So the very first thing that I did was I used this black tarp over the top of this area. What that did was it initially killed those superficial surface weeds, which was step one. But many of us are aware that there are seed banks beneath the surface of the soil that can continue to sprout up over the course of a couple years. So after I laid that tarp for a few months, I took it off and I gave a nice 6, maybe 8-inch layer of arborist wood chips. Free mulch! My local tree guys dropped off a bunch of arborist wood chips for free, and I was having a great time until I had to start working, of course. Now, arborist wood chips are simply trees that have been chipped up. They have not had a chance to cure. Latest research shows that they do not sap nitrogen from our plants, so they don't disrupt a plant's growth. Here you can see my garden beds before the wood chips. Look at all those weeds. And here you can see after the wood chips, it's way cleaner. Moisture is locked in. The weeds have been kept at bay. Yay. Now, arborist wood chips, those are just basic wood chips that are, a tree is cut down and then it's chipped. They're fresh, they're not aged. So you don't want to put seeds on top of arborist wood chips. You want to give those wood chips a chance to really break down and degrade a little bit before you plant onto them. So I put those wood chips on 8 months ago. Now this area is ready to be planted right into. If you're not using arborist wood chips, you could use an aged bark mulch on top of a nice clean weed-free surface, maybe a 3 to 4 inch layer of bark. of aged bark mulch, and then you can sow your seeds directly on top of that. The most important thing being that the ground is free and clear of weeds, and that when we're sowing our seeds onto that area, that they are able to come into contact with soil. If your bark mulch is too thick and you're planting your seeds on top of it, those seeds are never going to have a chance to actually touch the soil, and then they're never going to actually grow into anything. So you really need to keep that in mind. If you are opting for the herbicide method, which it's, there's always certain applications when an herbicide might be necessary. If that is necessary for you, you want to apply those herbicides like a year in advance before you're doing your seeds, because any trace amounts of those herbicides will kill those seeds before they have a chance to grow and proliferate. Another way that you could do it, you could do the occultation with those black tarps for a period of 3 months, and then you could do a nice layer of gravel on top of that, and then on top of that, you could do like a 3-inch layer of compost, and that would be perfect. Or you could substitute, instead of that gravel, you could do a layer of cardboard, and then like a 3 to 4-inch layer of compost or potting soil on top of that, and that would absolutely work well as well. Okay, so now that you have your site chosen and it's free and clear of any weeds, we need to go about choosing our seeds. Now, if you're going for wildflowers, you can hand select the ones that you like. You can also go for a pre-selected blend. Same with the woodland garden. Select the ones that you like or pick a blend. I have sourced mine from a wonderful seed company of native plants here in North America called Prairie Moon. And the great thing about buying seeds from a reputable purveyor is that they're not going to be filling, if you're going for a blend, they're not going to be filling that blend with a bunch of fillers that just kind of, fill the bag with weight, but they don't provide really substantial beauty to the blend. With Prairie Moon, I know that their blends are full of really great plants and nothing but. I've actually opted to select things that I like, and I'm going to be planting them in different areas, kind of creating my own mini blends within my larger planting scheme. So that's definitely something that you can do as well. Here you can see the planting scheme that I've created, kind of did a little map out, showing exactly where I'm going to be planting each seed, as well as the pre-existing plants in that bed and rocks, things like that. Now, in terms of how many seeds you actually need, I'm going to be opting for a less dense kind of mix, which would be about a half a pound of seeds for 1,000 square feet. The area that I'm going to be planting in is probably about 600 to 800 square feet. So I need about like a third to a half a pound of seeds for my mix, or for my planting scheme. If you're going to be planting if you want a really full look, you could go for as much as 1 pound of seeds for 1,000 square foot area. Do the calculations, just step it out, your length by your width, find out how many square feet you have, and then kind of use that ratio to determine how many seeds you need for your planting scheme. All right, so now you know how many seeds you need, which ones you're gonna grow, you've ordered your seeds, you've got your seeds. Now we're gonna mix it with a carrier, which is going to help us to plant our seeds a little bit more easily. So typically the best way to do so is to mix with sand. Now what that sand is gonna do, it's gonna make just spreading it more easy. It's also gonna provide a little bit of weightiness, which when you're actually spreading your seeds, it's going to help kind of keep those seeds down to contact your soil so that it can actually germinate. And if you're doing a nice blend of different kinds of seeds, when you're mixing them all together in sand, it gets just a little bit better distribution, and it absolutely just makes your life a lot easier spreading your seeds across that area. Unless you're planting your seeds in a huge area, which, if you're watching this video, you're probably not. We're just gonna spread it by hand. We're gonna take handfuls and we're just gonna spread it just like that. And then what we really need to do is we need to walk over those areas. In gardening, we're often talking about we don't wanna add compaction to our soil. Well, in this case, we are going to step on top of where we're seeding so that those seeds can actually touch that soil surface beneath. I did mention we're probably going to be doing this at the end of fall, early winter. We do want to clear those leaves off of our flower bed so that our soil is exposed, so that when we are seeding, that the seeds are going to hit that soil. If we have a thick layer of leaf litter, that's going to be really challenging for those seeds to come into contact with our soil. So we need to remove those leaves before we seed. Now, typically, because we're doing this at the end of fall, early winter, we don't even need to worry about watering. We're probably going to be getting some sort of precipitation relatively soon. So you don't need to worry about watering these in or ensuring that they get watered, anything like that. Mother Nature really cares for them, which makes our lives easier. If you're seeding in an area that's really prone to wind, or it's on a slope, I would recommend you could do like a 1/2 inch layer or maybe even an inch layer of straw on top. That's going to provide a little bit of weight on top of those seeds, but not too much. So it's not going to cover them from the sun, but it is going to help them just stay in place. So that is something that you can consider. And that's pretty much all that you need to know in order to get your seeds planted, sown correctly at the right time of year in the right location. Once spring arrives and we're starting to see some growth happening, typically we don't need to go and water them either, because Mother Nature is going to provide them with what they need. And I think that pretty much covers it all for this video. Please give this video a like if it was helpful, if you found it informative. Subscribe to our channel so you can stay in the know for each and every one of our plant released videos that we bring every single week. And stay tuned, because I will be showing you updates on this garden to show you guys exactly how my outdoor sown seeds are performing. Anyways, thank you for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.